Okay, folks, so welcome back to another review here on Simply Being Shipley Cigar and Pipe. Today we're going to be smoking one of the unicorns. Now, this is a very sought-after cigar. I have had several over the years that it's been out, but I don't think I've done a review, so let's do it. And the cigar in question is the sought-after Andalusian Bull by Flor Dominicana, LFD, and we're going to get into this. One thing I do want to note, I don't think I mentioned this in previous videos, is that I am here in Boulder, Colorado, which at this high elevation, everything tends to dry out pretty quick. So with that being said, one of the things that you have to watch out with certain cigars, this being one of those certain cigars, is when you have an extremely good but very thin wrapper on it, the humidity out here can just suck that dry and it can start to crack. So you want to stay on top of that. Be very careful on how you're storing your cigars here and leave them exposed to the air when you have a very thin wrapper like this one has on it. So let me do this. Let's cut it, light it, do the intro, and then we're going to get into the review. I've misplaced my V cutter for the moment, so I'm going to use a guillotine cutter. And because of that, I'm going to have to do a couple passes to get to the size of opening that I want. One more. So I'm getting a little bit of very, very light chocolate, like fluffy chocolate, almost has a texture with a little bit of hay in the background. There's a very good flavor. Let's get it lit. That's a good cigar. Let's get into the review. Okay, folks, thank you for watching this review of the Andalusian Bull by Flor Dominicana. This is Simply Being Shipley Cigar and Pipe, your unconventional guide to cigar and pipe culture, a real channel for real enthusiasts. Now, of course, we know the manufacturer is Flor Dominicana. The cigar itself was created by Lito Gomez, who was the creator of Flor Dominicana. On a trip to southern Spain, he discovered an old and unusually shaped cigar mold, which he then was able to duplicate, and he used it for the design of a new cigar, which was blended with the help of his son, and they called it the Andalusian Bull. This unusual cigar features a bold, natural, dark Ecuadorian Corojo wrapper, which covers a Dominican filler and binder. The tobaccos come from two of his estates, and I cannot say these, but I'm going to try. Estancia La Flor de Palma, which shares tobaccos grown for La Flor Dominicana, and Tabacalera Palma, which is another one of his locations. It is produced in very small quantities and released irregularly, which makes it one of the most sought-after cigars in the world. Now, today, in talking about pairing it with an alcohol, I'm going to go off of my own experience. And I'm going to introduce you, if you don't know about it, to Wolfhound Irish Whiskey. This stuff is incredible. It's a smooth, vanilla-toned Irish whiskey that brings out the flavors in the cigar like nothing else. It's definitely a must-try pairing. For the note, keep in mind that when Irish Wolfhound first came out, when I first got introduced to it, a 750 ml bottle cost about $19.99. That was about 10 years ago, thereabouts, 8 to 10 years ago. And now it's up to $130 for the same size 750 ml bottle. It's definitely worth it. You've got to try it, especially in connection with this cigar. Now, this is offered only in one vitola. We're going to call it a figurado. That's probably the most descriptive for this particular shape. It is a 6.5 by 64 gauged at the foot and a 52 gauge at the smoking end. And if you can find it, it typically runs for about $17 and comes in a box of 10. The wrapper is a Corojo. The binder and filler are both Dominican. The package. The cigar has a thin wrapper around the binder and filler. It's not overly oily. The cigar is very firm to the fill. The ash is light and fluffy, however. The cigar will hold the heat of the burn extremely well, and it does not go out easily. You must be careful with handling of the wrapper. As a matter of fact, when you go to purchase one of these, take a very close look at it, because people like to pick it up out of the display, and often just rubbing it on the felt line box sides can cause the wrapper to tear. So be careful when looking at one of these for purchase. Let's get to smoking this cigar and tell you what I think. Okay, sitting out here enjoying the morning and all that nature has to offer. Just started this. I'm getting, a little bit of that hay, some leather, some cashew type of taste to it. Overall, everything works really, really well together. Very lovely cigar. Now, let's talk about the shape for a moment. You'll notice that it starts out much thicker and then it tapers down torpedo-like to the end where it's much thinner. So what happens is, as you smoke this cigar from here to here, it gets sweeter. The reason why is the wrapper is the most sweet part, or the sweetest tobacco. And the ratio of filler dominates to the little bit of wrapper over here. But because that filler gets less and less and less, the wrapper really starts to shine as you get toward the thinner end, and it gets much, much sweeter. Now, I'm going to rotate this around, and you can start to see right there some of the cracking that I told you about, because when you have a delicate wrapper, not all wrappers are delicate, this one is, then the heat and the dryness being, all the moisture being sucked out of it by the atmosphere up here causes it to crack a little bit. If you're prepared for it, no big deal. Doesn't change anything. Just keep on going. So we'll get back more into this in just a bit. As far as the flavors and that, I wanted to talk to you real quick about the profile. Okay, so here we are right now, a little bit in. You'll see there's a little bitty valley where the cracking is, but other than that, it's a very even burn. I'm getting some hickory in here, some leather, and now I'm starting to develop a vanilla background on it. I think the vanilla is coming from this wrapper, this very sweet wrapper. One thing to note, if you are the type of smoker of cigars that chomps down with your teeth on the end, rather than using primarily your lips, you're going to want to be very careful with this, because once you chomp down, because again, how thin that wrapper is, this is going to start to unravel a little bit, and it might not be as pleasant for you as it should be. So no biting, okay? No biting. That being said, very, very nice. Part of the rarity of this is this availability of this particular wrapper and how hard it is to construct. Can you imagine how many that they get almost to the finish line and discover a little bit of damage from the wrapping process because of how thin this leaf is? So very rare cigar, Very much worth the price on them. We're going to go over that a little bit later in the presentation. But if you get a chance to grab these, you have to get these. These are amazing. Let's get back to smoking, and I'll see you in a moment. Okay, so take a look at that tobacco, that ash. That is very, very well wrapped. And if I can get this to focus here, give me a second. There we go. Very well constructed. We're about, almost an inch in. The buffering of the ash has really got the right temperature going on inside the cigar. One of the things I want to ask you about is this very unique band. I'm going to show it up here in the corner somewhere, left or right up there. Tell me what you think that this is, because I've asked some people just out of curiosity and I've gotten all kinds of answers. I know what it is. So write down in the comments real quick. I'll give you a moment. Write down in the comments what you think it is, and I will tell you what it is here in 1, 2, 3. Okay, so this is a matador standing and flinging his cape back. The cape that he uses to bewitch the bull with. So that is a matador figure. See it now? Okay, let's get back to smoking. Okay, folks, so we're approaching the halfway mark. A couple things to note. This tells you I'm smoking it wrong, because it tastes so good. I'm smoking a little faster than the cigar would like. When your ash starts to come off and you get these little pyramids in the middle, it means you're smoking it a little too fast for the cigar. And what happens is the heat buildup inside isn't the best to get the best flavor out. What you really want to do is be able to keep it fairly flat. So use that as your guide for how you're smoking it to get the absolute best flavor out of it. The other thing that I wanted to note is right now I'm starting to get a whole lot of honey. Honey mixed with that vanilla. The sweetness is overcoming the other non-sweet flavors. So it's doing really good, as you can see. Just a little bit before reaching halfway. Okay, so we're getting into what is about the last 3 to 4 inches, almost to the final third. The cigar is getting very creamy, very sweet, balanced, mellow. Just a really good combination. I'm very happy with how it's smoking. This is definitely a cigar that you're going to have to go try. Get a hold of one if you can. Keep an eye out for them, because, again, they're released sporadically in very small amounts. But I think that you're really going to like this cigar. Let me get a little bit further in, and we'll do a little bit of a wrap-up and get you into the rest of the video. Okay, so we are definitely well into the final third. You see that the burn is, of course, now that I'm taking my time, is evened out perfectly. Everything is going good on the cigar. Sweetness is definitely there, as I was saying a moment ago. Here's the thing. There are cigars that kill you with sweetness. It almost seems like they've added flavor to it, and that's not the case here. It is sweet, but it is more like a creamy sweet. It's really well balanced. Matter of fact, a lot of people would even say it's more leathery cream than sweet. But I definitely detect the sweetness in there. Great cigar. Great balance. Definitely recommend. As it thins down, the burn speeds up just a smidge. Not a whole bunch, but just a smidge. And yeah, no big after effects, no strong aftertaste. This is probably just, if I had to give one word to this cigar, it'd be balanced. So I really recommend you get out and try one. And let's get into the rest of this review. A quick and humble note. We're very sorry to announce that we missed a very important convention, which we promised you that we would be going to, and that is the 2024 PCA convention in Las Vegas. Right when this convention was about to happen, we lost a very important part of our family. And for those reasons, we're not able to attend the convention. But we do plan to attend next year and give you extremely entertaining videos of the new cigars that are going to come out at the next PCA convention. Please stick with us. Now, my final thoughts. This is one of the best cigars you can find, if you can find it, in the entire world. Here are my ratings on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being the high point. The build is a 9, the draw is a 9. The flavor is definitely a 10. The smoothness of the finish is definitely a 10. And the consistency is definitely a 10. If you can, purchase this by the box. This is not a cigar you will regret. We will see you on the next video. Thank you for being with us. This is Simply Being Shipley Cigar and Pipe. Have a great day.